Peace, peace. Rastafari. Thanks for coming to see what's going on over here on the IC page. Jai Sri Rama Sita Hanuman. Yeah, we praise the one God for sure. We seek first the kingdom of Rastafari, and all the good things are added. How could all good things not be added when we seek Jah first? For all good things are in God. It's really the most simple thing. It's the most easy, but it's also hard. It's simple and complex. That is the interesting nature of it. How it said we got to carry our cross, but it also say, the burden is easy and the yoke is light. It's a very paradoxical thing. Har Har Mahadev Anbe Shivam Anbe Shivam. Yo, peace. I see Congo in a place. Someone said, what is that? I'm not sure if you're asking about what I'm doing. I'm preparing a chalice right now. I'm going to blaze this chalice for a moment. Can we get Roberta the Necheru in pocket size? That's funny. Probably not. Once I put them books out, I don't go back to them to do anything. So probably just gonna be as it is. But thank you for asking and for your support of that. All right, you can blaze one with me. I'm gonna be on here for at least 20 minutes of building, blazing, communicating, doing some breath work. Ganja is a great gateway for breath work. Many of the ancient shamans, the indigenous people who were practicing with breath work, either expanded it or grew from partaking of the inhaled medicines, or they learned about it from that in the first place. So that doesn't mean that you need to use smoked medicine or smoked, tea. You don't have to breathe in your tea. You don't have to breathe in your herbs through combustion to enhance your breath work. But you also don't have to make yourself wrong or guilty, or use your mind in opposition to yourself if you do breath work and if you partake of smoke too. But it is good to know what herbs to use to cleanse the lungs, like osha root, yerba, santa, mullein, uva ursi. Those are some good ones, cleanse the lungs. And then just finding good lung tonics that are used for that too, things you can take internally as well. Because you want to keep everything fresh and new, all the cells new and clean as best as we can. This book right here talks about that a lot. It's a really good one. A clean cell never dies. I mention it in my book that I wrote about physical immortality. Pardon me. Yeah, in the book I wrote about physical immortality called Living Examples of Physical Immortality. I mention this book because a Nobel Prize winner scientist in here speaks about a cell. Not that the Nobel Prize is anything high to be regarded, but it just shows that they were definitely immersed in the field and had some respect from people in the mainstream. And they said that a cell, when cleansed properly and nourished properly, can go on living forever. So that is, there's scientific proof of that. And so knowing how to keep our cells clean and nourished and fed properly can possibly help in the longevity, maybe even spiritualizing of the flesh. That is that is an in-depth topic, and many people are good to discuss it and consider it, but it also challenges people. I've seen people get really upset with me for mentioning the ideas of physical immortality, bringing those two words together, because they're already programmed habitually to think that physical death is mandated, that it's a must, where in almost all the religions and ancient traditions of the world you find people who didn't physically die. Islam has Qadir, Al-Qadir, and also in Islam you still have the Christian and Judaic traditions linked to it. So you have Melchizedek, you have Enoch and Elijah, and then there's other stories that you could possibly build upon. And then outside of the biblical world, you have Tirumular and Agastyar and Boganath. So many different stories of people who never had to die physically. This book, Masters of Mahamudra, this one talk about, it says 84 Buddhist siddhas. Now some of those siddhas overlap in other siddha traditions of yoga, but these 84 siddhas are all people who attain diamond body or mantra body, golden body, a type of, when I say attain, it's not really an attainment. I don't like using that word because that could be confounding, but it's more so when you utilize all that's in you, in your true will, your talent, your gifts, to unlock your special style of art, of creating your immortal body. We all are doing this art. Everyone who's here is creating this body in which they can kick it forever. And it's, when we say you're creating it, that can also be an error too, because all things are only done through the one, through God. But through our unique individual souls, we are participating in deifying and immortalizing the flesh. Scriptures speak on this. And I mention scriptures, and I mention the teachers of the world, the sages, because these are the ways that we can sort of keep in, at least in some type of understanding, and build upon what was already accessed and experienced from those before us, to honor our ancestors and the victories that they've been able to pass down. In most of the victorious techniques and ideas from our ancestors are contained in the scriptures of the world. So I approach those with reverence. I approach the teachers of the world with reverence. I know that our heart, though, infinite intelligence weaved it into the hearts and into nature itself, into the universe itself. And so that's why I have that song, Adore, because whatever we adore is adored to the Lord. You can come to God through anything if you're sincere and have true wonder and true humility. That's the thing that keep us away from God, is lack of humility. That doesn't mean you won't still be in a presence, because God is omnipresence, but we're not going to be in the livity, in the practicing the presence of God without humility. That's one of the things people don't really like to face nowadays. They don't like to face humility, how important that is. Many people are on this honeymoon effect with finding out they're God, or finding out they have powers or whatever. I don't know what it is that they're fascinated by. I do like that we have natural potential, infinite potential in us, because we're made in the image and likeness of the one infinite. Yet simultaneously, I don't think there's anything to put most of our focus on. I mean, maybe it is if we're feeling so down and powerless that we need to see those things, but they can also become distractions. We can distract ourselves with thinking that that somehow we have better knowledge than another because we came across this particular religious path, or came across a video about Tartaria, or came across whatever we came across, end up thinking that we know better than somebody, and then be trying to talk down to people like, no, this is the way. Whatever you talking about ain't the way. That's played out. There's many ways to experience God. The issue, the thing is, though, a lack of humility. I don't care what you're dealing with. That's how you can really tell. That's one of the first signs you could tell if a person is allowing that essence to move through them rightly and not in an inflamed, in a perverse way, is humility. And I've fallen short of this. I fall short of it every day. Every day I have to repent and ask for forgiveness and give thanks for the mercy of God. So it's not a thing that I've mastered. I give thanks for the one who has mastered it. Maybe there are others. I don't know, but I know there's one, that Christ and we are one with that. We're one like the body. With that, Christ is just the head. And so if my head has already done it, then the body is gonna follow. But it's only gonna follow if I decide to actively be part of that body. If I don't be part of that body by my choice, then some of that stuff, some of those cells have to get thrown off the body. That's just what happens on a body. So learning how to let my will be one with the head, with Ras Tafari. You see what me a chat about? Haha. um, Beseme ya wolde women fiskadosa hadu amlaka man. Jo Rastafari.
Yo, did you intend to accept my thing?
Yeah, yeah.
What a legend. I was not expecting that. Oi, you've been changing my life, bro. You liked my comment recently as well. And when I said you changed my life recently,
Oh,
you been...
praise be to God, man. What's going on in your life, man? How's it going?
Oh God, we don't want to get into all the details there. I guess at the minute I'm in Babylon, but we don't want to
You
talk
on the
about
other
that.
side of the. It's dark where you're
Yeah,
at
I'm
right
in.
now.
Sorry.
It's dark where you're at right now. Where you at in the
Oh
UK?
right. I mean, right now I'm out blazing the herbal medicine out in my shed right now, bro. Just I was if I weren't on here, I'd probably be listening to your tunes at the minute because you're the only one really going through my rotation right now. What are you smoking on, bro? What are we blazing?
Yo, this is the chalice. I don't know. I don't know what the ganja called, but I'm just sipping on that chalice. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even. I'm not even familiar. I don't think, bro. But yeah, I don't even know what to say, bro. I weren't expecting you to actually fucking invite to click me to come in, but I don't know. It's just like it's like a rabbit hole, man. Because like there's so many different dimensions to like so-called awakening, and I've found that like there's something that is so powerful about, in particular, through music, like the inspiration through the music, like it's so like when I found you, I basically had like two LSD trips, yeah, like 2 days in a row, and I literally just like found your music and I just went down this massive rabbit hole, and it's like I learned so much through it, and like it's literally evolved my whole spirituality just finding your, because it's full of teachings, and there's I can't remember what you said in one of the songs. It was like it's like the language of the universe or something like that. Like that, the music itself. Like I don't know, but yeah, levels.
It's a universal language. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
right.
I'm glad. I'm grateful to hear that it impacts you like that. And this is what Illuminati Congo is. We build with the people. We're here for you, and because you've been here for us. Like we wouldn't be what we are if it wasn't for people who cared to listen and share and spread what we do. So that's why this is naturally how it's gonna go. If you're respectful, if you have something good to add on and build, uh, we'll probably end up conversing and connecting through, because this is what life is for. Uh,
Yeah,
these
I get you.
these
Me,
relations, yeah.
so yeah, me and a few of these other conscious artists, we've got like this page on Instagram, Conscious Rapper Community, and we're just getting that ball rolling a bit. Um, And yeah, it's like almost become like part of like my life purpose to push and assist with uh just this kind of, it is revolutionary, like, because some of the depths and how much music you have as well, like it just keeps going and you're just like, it's just genius. So just, you gotta appreciate the graft in general, like, because it takes a minute to create what you have. But I don't know if you would mind potentially, or you talk about whatever. I haven't got to stay on here, but I'm just interested potentially in like, I don't know. I almost want to ask like a question, like what do you think is actually like? Do you have any predictions in terms of just like what's going to actually happen? Like, do you reckon there will be? I know that awakening is inside and stuff, but do you reckon that like there might be like some mega shift or something? I know that sounds stupid, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, are there going to be like some gods or something, or have you received? Because you get visions on psychedelics and stuff. I imagine you likely have if you pursue those. Or
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good question. There's many people who suggest that different convergences with planets or with stars and in time and galactic centers like that, we're going to be able uh, to access a new type of body or a new type of consciousness. Some say, there's timelines that are going to switch, that some people are going to be stuck in an old timeline
yeah,
of lack and scarcity, and other people are going to advance on. Uh, I'm not of that belief. I don't believe those things.
yeah.
I'm not saying that it can't be. Anything is possible, but I do.
It's a bit of a loaded question. Like I don't know. I was like half, because I don't know what you know. Like, uh, but all I know is that like some people have seen a lot of mystical stuff, and like, because it goes
Yeah,
deep. That's the
yeah,
thing. Like, because I know you probably don't agree with the term like NPC if you're familiar,
right.
but most people are very kind of like, well, I'm not hating, but it's like awakening, so called. Wouldn't you agree that it goes like super deep, like some of the insights you can have about maybe the nature of reality compared to most people?
It can go deep, but I'll tell you, 99% of that deepness is a distraction from what we're here to do. We're here to actually do and be something, and the knowledge and the information can spark us to be ready and to be committed to do that. But really, the great awakening and transformation happens by what we do every day. Whatever you do every day, that's going to be the transformation, and that everyone's
Yeah,
doing something every day. And what they're doing every day is, when you look at the world, that the world is the result of what people are doing every day. And if we did something different every day, that'd be the great awakening. Will it ever be forced on us to do it differently? No. If it was going to be forced on us by a planet, by an alignment, if it was going to be some type of celestial thing that made us get there, we would have already got there, because we're outside of time. It's like that. That's not the
yeah,
that's not the issue. The issue is our own will. Every person's will has to be like, yo, I've had enough of the fuckery of not doing it God's way, not doing it the way of the Tao, not doing the Tao the way. Now I'm going to do the Tao. Now I'm going to do it God's way. And I'm only going to do it God's way by God's help. And it's sort of simple sounding, but
mm.
you gotta make it so that it can work for you. I use the most simple language I could find. That's all.
I think I understand. I think I was going to say a second ago is and I've been, it's the universe keeps telling me the same thing recently. It's that it's your tune, your song, "Faith Without Works," done a lot for me. because I was just going through, like, it's basically you still have to, like, there's not going to be like some form of saving, and it all happens kind of like the work is done in your heart, so to speak. Like the shift is really
Yeah.
internal, and that seems to be the case. Like if I shift my frequency and vibration, like um which I seem to like fall off somewhat. Even though I know you can't, but I mean, when I'm in full alignment, like the universe is like literally with me. That's what it feels like. When you're not in alignment, then you're never gonna win. Like you have to like kind of start from the heart, I guess. I don't know, but
So
God knows, man.
it's true. The Bible says we have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. A lot of people don't read that part. You got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. But then
Ah,
after that, it says that God will do it through you. So that's the interesting paradox there. It's like, one, you do it, you have to do it on your own. But two, there's no way to do it without the supreme infinite being, infinite intelligence doing it through us. And that's what you said. When you just said that in a different way, you used the word the universe uh, is doing it uh, for you and
I
through
think,
you.
and I think I was with you. I think I do understand. Um, when you say like let the universe do it through us,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I get it's kind of difficult to put into language though. A lot of it, isn't it? Because it's like, but I know what you mean in terms of you've really opened my mind a lot to like some of your songs about for example, strength through Christ and pray, and then obviously your new album Psalms, or I think that's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have actually been like literally, I literally got insights from your music, like,
Mm-hmm.
and also just saying like, I mean, I don't need to just like, what is it? Compliment, I guess is the best word I could think. But it's like, I don't know how you do what you do with your voice. Like you have like so much, like your ad libs and that, the way that it all like bounces around in some of the songs, and like I just like I don't I can't. Some of your songs, I was listening to like H bars up the other day. I was like, I literally can't even comprehend it. Like the first time I watched Galactic Gang, I was on acid. I was like, what is happening, bro? This is crazy. Like it's like it's fucking. It, I don't know. It's weird. It's literally. I don't know if you're familiar with the transcendental object at the end of time. I don't know if I have the right concept on that, but that's what it. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's fucking Terence McKenna's thing.
I can ascertain what it means through just contemplating the words.
Yeah, that's what I got. It's like I don't know. It's just right on the edge of creation. That like when I just stumbled onto it while I was on acid, and I just watched like everything you had, and it was like I don't know. It was just it
that
was a mad one. Oi,
that means
sorry, go on.
that means a lot to me. Thank you, man. Glory be to God.
Come on, bro. It's all high vibrations. I don't know. Would you mind? You haven't got to, but I'd super appreciate it if you, even just temporarily, would you publish this live so I can like download it and basically just like steal a conversation and put it on my YouTube? Well, you haven't got to, but you can delete it if you please. But I'm just trying to rob content for the
I'll see what I
conscious
could do.
rapper
Yeah, I
community.
usually don't leave my lives up anymore, just for the
No, yeah, no pressure.
exclusivity, so that people can jump in on the live and get it while it's hot. But I'll see
Yeah,
what I can do if when I end it, I'll try to leave it up for a sec.
yeah, no worries, bro. I'll just you could probably understand like
Yeah,
why I'd probably
yeah,
want,
bro.
but I mean,
Yeah.
it's just cool. I just like I didn't think you'd actually accept it. Like I don't know, but
No, if I have time, and I don't think someone's asking me how to join the Illuminati, I'm usually going to uh, let them.
yeah. What is that
It's
thing?
it.
What, are you on about on SoundCloud?
What you talking about? It is.
No, so I mean, you should join the Illuminati. So, someone keep these weird accounts keep messaging me that repost your stuff, telling me to join the Illuminati, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, don't,
what?
that's all scammers. There,
Yeah,
see, there's two different
what's
things.
going on, bro?
Those people don't come inside of my, they don't come inside of my lives. The people who come in my lives are people who trying to ask me if if they can join. They want to join the Illuminati. And so there's other people who have a scam
Yeah,
where they ask people to join the Illuminati and they're going to give them all this money. All they have to do is pay the initiation fee. And so that's who's reaching out to you, and a lot of people get that spam. But
no,
what
it's just
I
weird.
get people who's asking me to join every day, and it's so weird, like the desperation that people have in their life right now. I want to do whatever I can to help.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just like a is it just a financial scam? Is that all that is? Like
Yeah,
that whole
yeah,
thing?
it is. And then there's people who believe that they can join something and be supported as well because of a lot of these videos on YouTube that's talking about Jay-Z and the Illuminati, and people are like, "Oh, you're an Illuminati. You get a black card where you can pay for anything, unlimited amount." Of people have weird
Well,
ideas, yo.
people they confuse because like when you say Illuminati, obviously it's not Illuminati. I've heard you in like a interview podcast something obviously say there's different meanings, something like illumination or
Yeah,
something of that nature. Like it's not obviously. I don't know what I don't know. It's just all I know is that your whole thing. When I look at everything you do in the bigger picture, it seems to be for the cause of the people who know on the in group kind of. I mean, I don't want to say the in group because what you were saying earlier, I was resonating with the like you don't. I know what you mean by that kind
yeah.
of
It's
trap.
not
You
exclusive.
think
It's not exclusive. It's all inclusive, but it doesn't.
yeah.
But some people don't want to be included, and that's fine.
On some levels, there are obviously distinctions between people and that, but it's like it's easy to get in over your head sometimes, or it can be. I've fell into traps in the past when you're like, psychedelics can be dodgy. It depends because you get like visions, and then you just think that you're like, because most people obviously, it depends where you are, but a lot of people like around here, they don't have no idea really about like what's possible on psychedelics, and it really goes infinitely deep. It just depends how far, not just psychedelics, like, but that was kind of my magic mushrooms, like basically made me realize that I knew everything I like material paradigm is basically you can't it's not really the case. It can't be. I've done the test too many times. We're not just bacteria on a rock. It's deeper than that. That's what I used to think though, and that's normally what happens to
Mm,
people.
mm-hmm.
What are you um what are you saying? Should I disappear? I'll hop out if you want. I don't want to steal your whole life.
Uh, well, yeah, I'm gonna let some other. I'm gonna see what some of these other people who requested are up to. Uh, but we'll get in, we'll stay in tune now. Now I know you.
Yeah, time will tell. Yeah, I really appreciate you jumping on there, man. So like, yeah, that's it. I just got nothing but support, and we're at the Conscious Rapper community, and that we're trying to expand, and we'll definitely. I've already been making you like playlists and been like reposting all your shit and that,
Thank you,
and
man.
time will tell. So uh, it's
Yeah,
one love, big up,
yeah, we
bro.
connected
You're doing
now.
God do it.
Yeah, we connected.
Thank you, man.
Yes, indeed.
Bless, bless.
One love. Yeah, that's how we build. See what's up with Mr. Nature here. Ah,
What's up, bro?
peace, peace, brother. How are you?
I'm fucking perfect, even better now, brother.
It's good to see
It's good to see you, man. I've been wanting to come on this live like every time you're
you.
live.
I'm glad you had a chance to align it, yo.
awesome, bro. And I just want to say thank you for everything, bro. You are Christ. I know you know everything is Christ, all is all, but your light is
Woo!
beyond.
I give glory to the one.
Of
Uh,
course.
I pray that I could be a vessel for the love as best I can, but I know I fall short. But hey, I got good people around to help me stay on it.
We don't see any shortcomings
No,
when it comes to
Uh,
you.
no,
life is not short. Life is all that there is, bro.
that is true. That is true.
The guy you were just speaking with is our friend
Oh,
as well, and we've been
cool.
sending him your music and
Yeah.
been trying to tell him, listen to Illuminati Congo, listen to, and then one day he took an acid trip and just spent the whole trip listening to your music and came back like, oh my God, Illuminati Congo, that's the best music. Like, wow, thank you. Bless him.
uh,
So he's really been sitting listening to your music as well the last days.
That means a lot to me, yo, that you sharing what I do. I thank you for that. That I have more opportunity to connect with people, and I pray that God can serve them properly through the music and through the little things I can do.
The one thing I want to talk about also that you were mentioning, like being humble and humility and stuff like that. But I also love arrogance when you're using it for love. Like master builders, like arrogant bastards, like that song can hit my heart and make me feel the bliss of God any moment.
Yeah, in those songs, in art, there's a different type of expression, and so there's a lot of paradox in my music, and
Yeah,
the
for sure.
paradox in there is specifically so that we don't get stuck in any particular uh, dogma or doctrine or anything that might be a limitation. Uh, our conscience knows how to proceed, and Holy Spirit can guide us well when we ask, when we desire that guidance. And so you could do things like that. You can do things in your art that might seem to deviate from the core of what you deal with. But as long as our life and our actions are in integrity with the core of what we stand for, uh, that at least for me, I can do that and feel fine about it. But yeah, that song, "We Some Arrogant Bastards," that's a good one. That's like it's like uh stories, you know what I'm saying? Just aspects of the human nature that can be expressed in music too.
Yeah, for sure. And like what you talked about, Holy Spirit guiding in it, like today is my first day in a long time as a Rasta. I'm not smoking weed. I decided to take a 30-day weed
Mm,
break, and instantly God rewards me. I'm sitting here in the live, like.
mm. And you're ready to blaze because I'm blazing right now. So now you
Of
have to.
course.
You,
I told myself I'll do a fucking 30-day break, but now it's like.
well, well, if you wanna do the breath to get high real quick, we could do that. You wanna
I have
do?
some valerian root I was gonna sip in this night instead of getting high on the herb just to relax the nervous system. Like I always get high on my own supply anyway
Yeah.
too. Like I'm always happy. I'm just doing it to sharpen my willpower. I was watching this Yogananda video about molding your consciousness, and all it takes is one thought to crystallize a whole new reality, whole new habit. Just takes one thought,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it really inspired me when I was watching that video the other day. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, that's that's pretty much that is a great secret and a great practice to just settle with one thought or one practice or just something simple that you can work with daily, and see what it does for you, something you could be committed to daily. That's what we were talking about in the last conversation, like with that awakening, when each person has something that they're sincere about, that they're doing daily, to make sure that there's no obscuration between them and that one that is omnipresent in all intelligence. There's going to be greater relation, a more beneficial way of relating on earth at that time. But currently it it seems like we're distracted by what others do a lot. Inspiration by what others do is good, but there's a thin line between inspiration and then distraction.
I feel like the distraction, honestly, in my case, is when you don't listen to your breath. If you can't hear your breath, you're probably distracted by something, unless you're being really creative and you really want to think. Like,
Yeah, it's good to hear your breath, or to consciously be breathing silent. A lot of people attempt to silence their breath and just all the time. And a silent breath is good, but a breath that you can hear is, you can hear animals when they're breathing if you listen to them, and it's good to imitate them. So let's do a little breath work right quick. There's a few people on here I know that want to do some breath work right now. So what I like to think about is the water when it goes to the shore and when it comes away. There's no stop in that movement. Also, in a river, there's no stop in the movement. So we don't want to stop the movement of the inflow and the outflow when we're doing this type of nature breathing or natural breathing or psychedelic breathing that this leads to. So we connect the breath. Connect the breath, like my song. Breathe, connect the breath. Inhale and the exhale mesh. Breathe, connect the breath. This one merged into the next. So there's no pause. You just inhale and then you let it go. That's another important part. On that exhale, don't do anything. So many people want to do stuff. They're like pushing it out all crazy. It's like, no, you don't got to do that. You just breathe in. You take that breath in and let that exhale flow out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that through the nose. We're going to do that 20 times. And then we're going to do it through the mouth 10 times right after the 20 times. So through the nose, inhale, exhale 20 times. Breath can be fast, it can be slow. Just make sure that exhale is taking care of itself. You don't try to do anything. I'm not trying to do anything. No one's trying to do anything on the exhale. We're just doing something on the inhale and letting the exhale take care of itself. All right, 20 through the nose. Go.
Let's go.
namaste, art of relaxation.
I just did my 20 through the nose. Now I'm going through the mouth. Same thing. Inhale and let it go 10 times. All right.
Yeah.
Whoever did that is you got to be feeling sort of irie right now. You got to be feeling maybe a little buzz, some tingly, some parts of your body is speaking to you that wasn't speaking before. This breath is built into us. It's the natural system of healing, of waste removal, of DMT production, of cell repair, of relaxation. I'm telling you, yo.
Awesome, bro. Like, I also want to say, like, big up to your connected breathing because I've tried so many different yogas and kriyas and this and that, and your connected breathing, when I found it, it just clicked. And I tripped on DMT after like 20 minutes of doing nothing on the
Yeah,
exhale, just
yeah,
relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. I was like laughing to myself, like, what the fuck? Was it this simple?
yeah,
Why was I trying to do so many things? Like,
yeah. It's so easy. God made it easy for us. The challenging part is overcoming our passions and the stuff that takes us away from this. The stuff that takes us away from remembrance of the breath, from remembrance of loving kindness, from remembrance of charity and uh and just being like a child. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
truly. I love your Stupid Fresh Wisdom album. I feel like that's a perfect understanding how you work in like new consciousness where it's all one, or not new consciousness, but in pure consciousness where it's all one. It's really no self, no problem. The thought construct is the separate self, the thinking, constant clinging of a concept of yourself. When that dissolves, we're always here now. It's always liberated. It's always cool. All is
Yeah,
well.
yeah. There's much truth to that. There's like there's a side where people can see it as scary, where you're
I've
just
had
like
that too on a
there's
trip, like on acid on 500 mics, and I was like, my ego was like, oh,
yeah,
oh
there's
shit,
no
shit, don't want to
self.
disappear.
Yeah. And it's not really that. It's disappearing to the obsessions around the self. It's not really the self uh disappearing. The what the true self is, the concept
Yeah,
of self, yeah, it disappears. But what the true self is, when you know what that is, it's none of these words are actually can explain it properly, but you have an I am that is the ego. I am means ego, or ego originally was meant I am, and that's the same name of God. God, the name of God is I am. So that is where it gets really interesting, that the name for ego is I am, and the name for God is I am, and that's the self. And so meditating on that is really important for me. Seeing the most humble version of God, like seeing God come and operate in a most humble of ways, is what communicates that to me here. Like seeing the biggest, most intelligent, most loving, omnipresent say, I'm gonna be that in all perfection, free from sin, free from missing the mark. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna miss the mark, so that this part of our body, so that this part of the one body that we are, can have that activation through our cells. It's like such a loving uh, gift that we have. We have the grace of God just all through the universe. Fire, earth, water, air, and space are also the body of God, and we have these things every moment of our life. You can't get away from the grace of God. You can't get away from the love of God. Only only if you think you are. And that's the sin, yo. To the same way Satan tried to get away. You know what I'm saying? Satan,
Yeah.
if we're gonna use idea, the idea isn't that there's something that's always fighting against God and has equal power. No, what we're talking about is that idea that can be an entity, if because ideas do turn into entities called egregores in some models, but an idea that says I can do it separate from the one. I can exist on my own without interdependence, without the one supporting it, and that idea, uh, that's what separates us from the love of God, from even the love of ourselves. We
Yeah.
don't even love ourselves properly when we do that, because that's like hating your parents or hating the earth. It's hating what what you're made of,
And
what you come from.
it's just throwing shit on a mirror.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one thing I really want to ask you, for me, the biggest thing that happened in my life that made me Mr. Nature, or whatever you want to call it, is I was doing all kinds of drugs. I was smoking heroin, I was doing cocaine, I was doing benzos, and all of a sudden I popped some acid. And I died. Like I
Mm-hmm.
went to heaven, like I went to an eternal astral realm that
Mm-hmm.
was all knowing, all
Mm-hmm.
seeing, explained me all of nature, how we used to live thousands of years on this planet, connected to source, renewing our flesh, and all of these things. Like big pharma's just a joke, real food comes from the ground, like all of these things being shown in a higher realm. Then poof, back to an ego. I'm Rob, I'm a this, I'm a junkie, I'm this. And like 2 seconds ago, I was in an astral plane, all knowing, all seeing. I know everything about the universe. I made it. And then when I came back, I like dedicated my life to that realization and grounded it and changed my life for the better and do my best to spread God's love every moment. But I'm interested, was it a sudden shift for you, or was it like a gradual?
When I started as a little guy, just connecting to nature as a baby. I'd just be in nature and be like, "Yo, this shit is dope." Like, what the fuck is the universe? I'll be looking at this motherfucker like, "Yo," like I just couldn't. I can't explain it, but there's a great wonderment that I remember as a child. Uh, or as a little child. I'm still a child, but I'm a bigger child now. But as a little baby, uh, I remember that. And then when people started talking about concepts of God, I came into I stayed at my friend's house, and they used to go to church. So a few times I would go to church with them, and I heard people talking about Jesus. I was little though, like fifth grade, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I want to learn about it. So I started learning about it. And that's where I first started playing with uh, ideas about God. And then I started meditating on death, like what not being would mean. If you didn't exist, what is infinite nothingness like? I would meditate on that. I would meditate on what infinity meant. Like I would just sit there and lay back and think about those things as a child. And they made me come to other. Uh, I don't know. Maybe it shaped my life some. Uh, I began to ask questions at church. Got kicked out of the church because of the questions I was asking, and got kicked out of this Christian school I went to because of uh, similar things. And that, I was still a kid then, a littler kid than I am now. And uh, it just led me down the path of yoga, led me down the path because I talked to God and I was like, God, I want you to show me everywhere, in every way, that you communicate with people around the world. And Christ was like, I am everywhere in the world, and I haven't left anyone. Because the question I asked was this: I said, if God is infinite and omnipresent and loves all people, then God ought to be everywhere and be able to somehow connect with everyone. Uh, so are you telling me that that people finna go to hell that didn't know this doctrine about Jesus Christ, and that they are gonna be in eternal damnation? And the spirit in me, or inspiration in me, was like, no, people have other ways that they've connected to the divine, and you go immerse yourself in these things, see what they're about. And so I did, into Egyptian yoga, and into Sanskrit Vedic culture, into Taoist and Sufi, into Hebrew Israelite, and into so many different avenues, and into psychedelics as well. When I did DMT, uh, the and I had the breakthrough. The only time I've ever had like that super breakthrough on DMT, I I actually I saw the intelligence communicating to me, similar to like what you said, where every question I would ask, before I could ask the question, it would be answered, and I was just laughing because I was in that fear and that wonderment, uh, uh, for God, that I was experiencing there. And so that I've had experiences with psychedelics that definitely uh, strengthen all of this.
Yeah.
Uh, but now the awakening is like, there's more awakenings that are happening. I'm still awakening, and right now it's just awakening to how to really live this. I feel like I've been attempting to live it for since I started, but I feel like I've been so off as well, because there, there's there's so much room for growth, and that that's it's an important part for where I'm at right now, is just knowing that as far as I've gotten, I've really gotten nowhere. uh I'm right at the beginning level with everyone, ground level. I don't know what I'm talking about just as much as anyone else doesn't know what they're talking about. This is just my testimony.
Yeah. We're on ground zero point.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you too in general is like alkalinity. Like, you know about like Dr. Sebi, Yaki, and these things like cells needing oxygen and the pH levels of cells, and that like the most of disease is caused by acidosis and our lymphatic system being backed up. Like, what's your take on it? I've heard you speak about alkalinity a few
The,
times on the
the
songs, but I
breath
haven't heard you.
breath can alkalize the blood in your whole body. uh Breath can do it no matter what you eat, no matter what you drink. If you uh, breathe properly, you can do it. If you eat certain things that support it, it'll make it easier. Uh, I am not an expert or like a person who can measure the body to really uh, determine like what's happening in a person's body. So I can't tell you like, oh yeah, you eat this and this is alkaline. You eat that and it's not. There's a lot of
Yeah,
theories like that. Certain things are alkaline, certain things I don't know what. I also don't think that I also don't know that we can prove that you drink some water and it's going to turn your body more alkaline if you're not breathing properly. Uh, I don't think it's going to keep your body at the proper pH balance, is more what I should say. Because it's really
yeah,
about maintaining the proper pH balance for your body, and different parts in the body, I think, need to have different pH balances as well uh, at the time. Like the pH balance in your brain is probably a different pH balance from what's in your mouth and
yeah,
what's on the surface of your skin and what's in your liver. Like these things have different ways that they vibrate. So I I would say anyone who's done alkaline in a alkaline eating in a comprehensive way has probably received a lot of benefits from it. So you could see in their own life that there may be some great some truth to the premise that eating that way is good for you.
yeah. I truly think it is because I got this book called, can you get it for me? Well, the Source Miracle Detox book. And it's by a guy called Robert Morse. And he's talking about alkaline forming food and acid forming food, how we get like an alkaline ash or an acidic ash in our bellies when the body finishes digesting the food.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about that technically we are just like, if you measure like the teeth and the fingers of all the animals on the planet, it's like we're frugivores and herbivores.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our bodies are not like, if you take us just in nature as God created us, we were not cooking food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We were just picking things off the trees and
there I there's much truth to that. I I do think that uh, the most natural way of eating is probably fruitarian. Any eating whatever sort of makes itself available from nature for you to eat uh, is what I see. So like fruit pops off the trees
yeah.
and off the bushes for you to eat. So that's probably what's most in line with the natural way.
I feel like the things you teach a lot about physical immortality has a lot to do with alkalinity and returning back to actually being herbivores and fruitarians. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, we used to live at least 1,000 years in these bodies.
Yeah, there is much truth to that. Uh, there's also all type of fasting or eating in a certain way where it's going to be more temperate or uh, more fasting type of approaches have to be rooted in God, in a spirit connection, because when they're not, they can become vain and then they can become disastrous. So when they rooted in a connection with the divine, then you get your food from prana. Uh,
Yeah,
so that's a very important part of it that often isn't talked about in the intermittent fasting world and in some of even the alkaline circles. And but some
yeah.
people do talk about it. In those that do are a little more that they're being more safe when they speak to people about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a radical shift. Like even like I was going really healthy, eating vegetarian, eating cheese and things and stuff. But then I went completely alkaline, like fruitarian and raw vegan. And your body has to detoxify all the mucus you formed. And so my gum in my mouth swelled up, and I started getting pus coming out of my mouth. And it was so fucking painful. And that's just one side effect of detoxification. And that was me in general being a pretty healthy person. Imagine someone eating McDonald's every day and they start to try to detoxify that
Yeah,
fast. You could literally die.
yeah, yeah. I've gone through the detox healings too.
But how do you feel about like your chalice? Like talked about OXSN, you used to have a chalice and you don't know what weed it is, but I have a chalice too, but it's a steaming chalice, and I see you light your chalice all the time. And I ran out of charcoal, like coconut charcoal, and like I can't find the chalice you're sitting with. Like, I want a fucking straw and a thing I can just light, so I don't have to sit with the steam and the charcoal all the time.
Ah,
I bought this in England and I had to fly back with it to Sweden because he was like, please, please, I can't find a chalice anywhere in Sweden. Please, please. So-
it's a good one, but yeah, it's I like the fire and the smoke. Uh, you probably gonna have to build your own if you could just find a way to get a chillum, find
Yeah.
someone who could send you a proper chalice chillum. They might have some people that make them in your area too, and then you get a coconut or a gourd. Gourds work better. You can even get a jar, and there's ways to put the hole in it. Get you some medicinal grade rubber. That's the best rubber to use, so you feel a little better
I
about
wanted to know that. I was thinking like, are you using plastic
it.
or
Yeah,
whatever it is? Like I was
yeah. If
thinking
you get
about it.
medicinal grade rubber, you'll feel a little better about it, and then just attach the pieces, and you good.
Yeah.
It's not.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will build it myself, and then if you need any tips while you're doing it, if you're like, wait, how do you do this part, or how do you do this, you can hit me up. It's all
Thank you,
gravy.
brother.
Yeah.
Many people are saying Etsy. There's
Yeah.
a few people that have said check Etsy. Etsy have chillums, Etsy.
my
Etsy's
bre-
the place to look.
my brethren
The people
Ross
are helping us
Terms,
out.
he said she bought you a chalice. That's true love.
Yeah.
He's been sitting there like these two are so in love with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, that's
He's
really
a
good.
cutie.
Yeah, he it's good for him to see that. Yeah, yeah. What else going on in here?
I have a question. We were talking about stupid fresh wisdom, and when you brought out stupid fresh wisdom, we were both like, "Why isn't this on YouTube? Like, why is this only on Spotify?" I don't even remember why we were so like desperate for
I
it to
wanted
be
to
on
share it
YouTube.
with a friend that didn't have Spotify, and I was like,
Hmm.
I can't
And then we were
find it anywhere.
messaging you like, "Congo, excuse me, please, can you can you make it so this album's on YouTube?"
That's wild. I never noticed. I remember y'all sent that message, and I think that maybe it was because I was like, yo, I'm gonna put the whole album as one track like I did with Time Killers on there, and just so people could listen all the way through, sorta. But I never got around to it. I think that's what happened. So I made it so it wouldn't go on YouTube. I believe that's what happened, but I don't know.
That's okay. We're gonna have to get the
I've
vinyl.
seen some other guys starting to upload Congo's music from that album anyway, so someone got it covered.
Someone's
Like.
helping
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
That's perfect.
yeah, man. So why is the
Thank you, brother.
sound?
It's been an honor to be here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
good.
really
It's
cool.
good to build with y'all. I'm sure we'll do it again.
Yeah, man. Someone asked if you're a vegan, but I know you drink raw milk.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we too. We go to a local farm, get our big can, get it filled up straight from the titty. Like even in this alkaline book, like living things with living enzymes or alkaline
Mm-hmm.
forming in our bellies.
Yeah, I use the raw milk and butter and cheese, and I use honey. But very uh, I'm very concerned with making sure that the animals that I get those things from are treated with love. That I'm off sometimes I get a chance to hang out with those animals too, and that's always rewarding just
Yeah.
to see how cool the goats are that you're getting your milk from. They're cool with me. I'm cool with them, and we go on walks and shit. It's cool. Even in the city, like there's little oases you could find if you take your time, ask around, search online. You could find a lot of cool stuff wherever you are. It's like there is cool stuff happening all around the world.
Yeah, I don't know how it is for you, but literally here in Sweden, raw milk is illegal.
Yeah,
So,
yes,
so
it's
they can't
illegal.
sell it in the shops or anything. You have to go straight to a farmer and get it in a thing. Like,
Yeah, it's illegal here like that too. There's a store that sells it. It's an Amish store, and you have to sign that you only buying it for your pets.
oh,
You sign, yeah,
Yeah, it's for my cat. It's for my
yeah.
cat.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much, though. This feels so like a dream come true. I don't know.
and big question, Krishna, when are we getting the Sat Yuga properly flowing for everybody, huh?
That's up to each and every one of us.
You said Sat Yuga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like as far as on the universal level, that's millions millions of years from now. But as far as on the individual, because there's yugas for every person, there's yugas for every star, for every planet. Everything has their own. Uh, I call it agiles, agility, uh, abilities with the amount of time that they've been here. People call it ages or eras, uh, but to take age to agility, uh, everyone has their own age agilities that they're working with, and the more agile that we are, the more likely it is that we can usher in the yuga that is most harmonious in our relationships, and that reverberates. And because time is not really a real thing, this is happening outside of time, and we can actually dissolve the barrier between the universal yuga and the personal yugas. So it's a quantum thing. It's a quantum thing.
Beyond boundaries.
Yeah.
But literally, like I've seen, like I don't even want to like call that vision, but I'm 100% million sure in my heart that we're all ascending back to God, and we're gonna live in peace on this planet again, no matter what. Like,
It's already happened. It's already
Every
done.
knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess.
yeah,
It says it. It's for everyone. It's just gonna happen in their own time, and it might be an eternal ongoing process. So who knows? Whatever the case, I'm here to love. I'm here to love
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
happens.
Love no matter what.
That's it.
Like if you guys, anyone watching this video, if you ever a problem feeling down, your mind, go listen to Inner Space album with Congo and live from your heart.
Just keep loving no matter what they do or say.
Like I took 500 micrograms to that album in India, and I was like, holy fucking shit.
We were in an argument before that. He was like, "Arr," and then after the experience, he came back with his arms wide open, like, it's just love, like nothing before this trip exists. Goodbye.
I know the experience. I guess that's where the lyrics come from, because I've been experiences that called for those lyrics. Yeah.
Then I also have one little fun thing I want to ask, because there's like, if you go to like Neem Karol Babaji, Ramana Maharshi, Ananda Maji Ma, it's all God's will, no matter what, and it's all predetermined. What's your take on that? Because I know you like the imagination part, like Neville Goddard and stuff like that.
Yeah, I deal with that. The God's will is the only thing that's real. That's the only thing that's happening. There are things that are happening that are the the root of it was God's will, but the the effect of it is coming from humans, and humans having their free will. So God is all good. There's no evil. There's no bad in God. There, God is all good all the time. God is all loving all the time. The whole thing of trying to wrap up uh, God as being some type of murderer or some type of evil, uh, a balance, that God is some balanced thing of good and evil. No, God is all good. The fucked up shit comes from people, and God didn't determine for that shit to happen. God knew it would happen. God saw what happened. Uh, God sees it happening, and God is there to help us through those things. But it's not the will of God
Yeah.
that any should perish, but that all should come to the knowledge and science of repentance and experience eternal life.
Yeah, because I feel in general, like, I understand what you mean. Like, of course, it's all God's will, and then what happens under that is God distributing that, or whatever you want to say. And it's like, I see it as it's karma, and karma is our free will, our action to reap what we sow and all of these things. But that is ultimately God's will. But there's a lot of teaching saying it's just a Leela of God playing with itself.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't believe that. Uh, I do see the Leela of God through everything, but I don't. The part that I don't believe is that any wrongdoing, any harm, any uh, sin, any missing of the mark is happening by inspiration or direction of God. It's all happening by the direction of people who are choosing to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil over and over again, instead of eat from the tree of life, which is
yeah,
that singular, uh, then I be single. It's the path of the heart.
yeah. God is unconditional love for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like God is always total acceptance of all things to be as they are, however people want them to be
Mm-hmm.
expressed.
Mm-hmm.
And since I realized unconditional love with God, you can think you're falling off or you're not being humble enough or whatever, but once you're like, it's always okay.
It
It's always love. It's
it's
like,
always okay with God, but
yeah,
the thing is, it's not always okay with us, because how we act is can it can change everything. So, like, the way that, even though God's love for us is eternal, uh, and God loves us even when we go astray. When we're astray, we're outside of the way. We're outside of the Tao. We're outside of Christ. And even though Christ is everywhere, we've gone outside, and that's when trouble uh, is unavoidable, and it can't be dealt with. Eventually, it'll beat the troubles of life will beat down on people until they get to the point where they're like, "Yo, I need to rely on the kingdom of God within and seek that first, and then all the other stuff is added unto us."
It truly is. Like, it truly is. When I found God, my whole life changed for the better, like constantly. Of course, it has ups and downs, whatever you want to call it. But in general, you get what you give, and what you get what you give.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you realize that you're constantly, life is actually a mirror, and you start recognizing that, and you start giving God the best all the time, then you start getting the best too. And like, also one of the things that for me, that really matters is ending suffering in your mind about yourself. And I feel like once you've done that, you can't really fail anymore, because you're gonna be in the moment. You're gonna be with God, because it's not about you anymore. It's about us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that for me is the thing that changed my life for the better. It's like you don't even have to like think about ego or God or anything. Just extend it all inclusive, like you said earlier.
The one already won. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
It's already won.
Yeah.
The one already won, and you're one with that one, and we're one with that one.
It's,
It's your lyrics that always like are playing in my mind. Sometimes I'll get irritated or something, and then it's like, blessed if you do, blessed if you don't. And I'm like, okay, there's always a lyric that's of yours that comes to mind whenever I need it. And sometimes it'll just be playing in my head non-stop until I figure out which song it's from. Like this happened the other day, and it was Just Love, where at the beginning you're like, praises to holy, highly Selassie, be the most
oh, my
high,
love.
and then you're singing about how it's just about love. Oh my god, when I discovered which song that was finally, I felt like such a hallelujah moment. Because I don't know how many days I was just stuck with this like beginning intro bit in my head again and again.
That's from the first album. Yep.
Yeah.
All your
Wow.
music is fucking amazing. I've listened to every album, every song ever I could ever find on
Oh,
any platform. Like, it's the
thank you,
best. Like,
man.
We're your
that
biggest fans for sure.
that means a lot to
someone's
me.
asking what I'm on right now. I'm my first day sober in fucking ages. And
We're high on life.
I'm documenting it on my YouTube channel to show people that contentment has nothing to do with substances or conditions or external happenings. It's all within. It's your attitude that's manifesting all the time.
Being Mr. Nature, too many people are like, yeah, but he's just high as fuck all the time.
My bad.
How dare you, Rob?
I like the teachings of like art of relaxation. So once you're in a state of relaxation, everything happens by itself spontaneously in God's will.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. That's like I said at the end of Wei Wu Wei. That's what Wei Wu Wei means. That you don't gotta do it. God gotta do it for you. That's another way to say it. Or you put forth just a little, and God do the rest. You know what I'm saying? It's like that inhalation, the and the exhalation. The inhale is the active part. The exhale is the passive part. You can say "way will way" with every breath. It's an affirmation with every breath. That, however you think about it, if you're like the Tao, you could think about it in that sense, uh, as the yin and yang is one. Uh, if you like uh, Christian doctrine, you can take it as uh, in that sense as well. There's so many different ways to apply it. just let your heart work with whatever God is put before you.
That'd be the truth.
Definitely. I really want to get myself your etymology book. Instead
Oh,
of just keep talking about it for years, I'm gonna freaking just order one now when we get off
you
this live.
you can, or I could send you the PDF as well.
Yes, whichever
She's been
happens.
fucking wanting it for like 2 years now. So.
I just need to do it. Or just send the PDF and I'll just freaking, because it's so fascinating for me. I've always loved languages. I'm now learning Swedish because he's from Sweden. We're living in Sweden. Someone to my third language, and I find it very fascinating when this word in this language means this, but over in that language, it's the same word means something completely different. I always find that to be really fun, and just the roots of words and your word play. I mean, I feel like that book and me are going to resonate a lot.
Yeah, etymology is one of the things that strengthen my faith in Christ, because the more that I explored the whole language, any language, the more I would see that it's just Christ there. I would really see it there. It's so like the word etymo. Etymo means truth. So when we say etymology, we're saying etymo, and we're saying logos. Uh, logos is the word, so it's the word of truth. But in the Bible, when John is talking about Jesus, he's always calling him the Logos. In the beginning was the Word, and he speaks about this word, this Logos, often. And Logos is also synonymous with the Tao. So, but the Tao means the way. The Tao means the way. And so here we go, is we have the way. Jesus said, I am the way. So that's the Tao. Jesus also said, I am the truth, which is etymo. And Jesus has been called the Word of God, the Logos. So it's the etymologue, the etymology. If you go to the roots of etymology, you're going to find the way, the truth, and the life right there. That's why in the English alphabet you have QRST, right, consecutively after each other. The Christ or the Karas is right there in the alphabet, because there's the way God works is fractally, Christilic. Uh, so it forces it, not forces, but it pulses itself, uh, and its geometries, its mathematics through the universe. And then you can sort of see these things through numerology, or through numerological synchronizations, through planetary, through celestial, through any science, any phenomenon in the world. We're actually going to be able to see the impulse of the Christ Logos uh, pushing through, pulsing through.
Yeah, because we're creating when we speak, so therefore, of course, words are very important because they're like the basis. Like if I don't know if I'm chatting shit, then I'm creating shit, and if I speak beautiful, consciously chosen words every time something comes out of my mouth, then I'm creating that reality. So yeah, no wonder I have this feeling like I want to read this book, I want to learn more, because like you said, it's like studying truth. It's the
It
study
is.
of truth. Like,
It is. Here's a book called Heka.
ah,
In Egypt, Husia Heka means word, sound, power. And you
Oh,
see Heka is
yeah,
this is the god Heka, or the necheru, holding two snakes, but it's a cross. It's a crossroad. It is it's a Christ. But if it's a cross, you hear the word Christ in there. It's the cross. It's right there. So when we're speaking about Husia Heka, we're speaking about word, sound, power. You don't mention Heka, which is the god of magic. You don't mention it unless you're talking about word as well. They're both linked together, and so there is a magic of word. You see words and all sounds that come out of our mouth, and all those symbols that are used, runes, Sanskrit, Hebrew, Aramaic, uh, Ge'ez, Amharic, all of these symbols first started for a purpose, and the purpose wasn't so we could discuss the latest sports game. It wasn't so we could discuss the weather. It wasn't so that we can form doctrines about things. Our language and our symbols were for magic's sake. That was the purpose of them from their inception. That was the only purpose of language. And here's the tricky thing: we're using language all the time, but we are not consciously using our language as a creative faculty for what we're experiencing in the world. Now we are doing that, but it's unconsciously. So everything we're seeing around us is a result of language that we're using in our head and language that we're using in our interactions with people that is leading to the manifestations around us. And so it is very important to have a conscious relationship with our language, to be able to choose it. Now, overnight we're not going to stop speaking. Like, really, that was how we conversed with people, was telepathically. There was no need to speak with people vocally. We spoke telepathically, and people began to speak vocally only to create a reality, to create a universe, to create some type of effect that would reverberate into the substance that this all is, to the plasma that this all is. I had to say that one because Black Airbender threw me the little badge, you know what I'm saying? To the plasma that this all is. Uh, that's what impacts, because what's it called? Cymatics. Sound affects shapes, affects forms. And so the only reason people would even speak originally when they were speaking properly or rightly was to create forms, to create bodies, to create stars. And we can get to that again, but it's going to take fasting from speech a little more. And that I don't think we're ever going to be at a place where, no, we don't converse with each other. Conversation is fine, but there is going to be a lot more subtlety and a lot less that needs to be said, because conversations will be more so attuned to maintaining the deliberate creation that we've settled upon, rather than creating a bunch of chaotic, sort of interfering realities, because that is what's happening. People are speaking, and people are like, it seems like there's different realities. There are. Words are creating different forms and realities. You can't get away from that. And that is that's how illusion works. Know yourself as a master of illusion, and know others as that. And life can be a little more fun. Get good with the trickster.
It's all a plain namaste. I have
That's
one
it.
thing I really want to ask. I've listened to Rainbow Body and read a lot about Rainbow Body in Tibetan Buddhism too.
Yeah.
And in that song, you say you're looking at your body like you're tatted holographic, and you're looking at your organs and your skin see-through.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Did you see your organs through your body?
uh, did, well, not in that sense. More so, just being able to see through everything, see
Yeah.
through it all. It is possible to see our organs and to connect with them in that type of way and talk to them and be in communion with them. So,
Thank
but that's not what I was doing when I was talking in that song.
Because it's an awesome practice, Rainbow Body, but most of the things I read about Rainbow Body is like you die, like you actually just consciously Mahasamadhi leave. Like that's when you use Rainbow Body mostly in the things I've found.
It's interesting because yeah, you're gonna find a lot of that now, where so there's different styles of it, and people they can only get to the rainbow body experience that their mind is open to. And so if you have a law in your mind or some type of program that physical death is inevitable, but you also know that you can attain this rainbow body at the time, or not attain, I don't like that word, that you can allow it to come forth in you, then you're going to experience that style. The thing is, though, that a lot of people like Padmasambhava and Milarepa, they had styles of rainbow body where they completely vanished. They didn't leave anything behind. They didn't leave body behind. They just turned into rainbow body form. Uh, from what I've heard, I'm not a master of the traditions, but I've come across where I've read that, and then there's many they say that that's how it happens. Sometimes they'll leave the hair and nails behind.
Yeah.
Sometimes the body will shrink and just leave a little thing behind. Sometimes nothing happens. They just, whatever. Sometimes they're gone completely. And sometimes a shrine is left behind, like a gold statue version of them. That's what allegedly happened with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have Ramalinga Swami. This is one to look up because that's from India in the Tamil tradition in the recent history, like in the 1800s, and at least 300 eyewitnesses, not just Indian people, British people too, were there and witnessed him turn into a ball of light. And his message is so similar to that of Christ that I really love the inspiration from Ramalinga Swami. He was one of the only people who allegedly did it, who also wrote books using the actual words physical immortality, wrote whole treatises on physical immortality. And so you're gonna find different ways that people do it, different ways that people like levels of it, different styles, and you can have your own style of it. There's no death. If you've had those realms
Yeah.
communicate with you, so you already know. It's like there's no death, there's nothing to worry about, but it's more so your art and more so breaking the limitations that say you have to do it in a certain way.
Yeah. Because there's also people going rainbow bodying, like going through all the elements, going to a cave and leaving their fingerprints in a rock, like Guru Rinpoche, some of them.
Yeah,
Like when we
that's
were in
Cosmos
Nepal, we
Sambhava.
met a guy that was studying under a Guru Rinpoche, and he was like fully devoted to Guru Rinpoche in Nepal, living right now. But it's like the lineage of those, and he was like all into all Rinpoches and all the teachings, showing me all the books and the rainbow bodies and this, and it was like really cool to hear all the stories of someone that really went deep into that. And it's like he was a master of the elements. He could just like form stones and rocks and crystals like clay with his hand.
Like the experience that you've had on LSD, this guy had from just meeting Guru Rinpoche. He like touched him or something.
Yeah,
Like,
he hit him in the head.
and he was like full Kundalini, freaking DMT mode, like.
Yeah, I have two cool llamas that I connect with, and they're the most genuine people, and I have to say that people who are sincere in the Dharma of Buddha, and sincere in their Mahamudra and Dzogchen practices, there's some of the coolest people that I connect with. So it's definitely something to look into, because
Yeah.
those are the two practices that in Tibetan that are said to lead to rainbow body in Tibet are Dzogchen and Mahamudra, and they're like brother sister practices, sort of.
It's a lot about doing nothing too.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a cool book about rainbow body and resurrection. You may have seen it before, but it's about how Jesus' resurrection is similar to what is talked about in Rainbow Body. It's written by this monk or priest, Francis Tiso, where he's like comparing rainbow body and resurrection ideas.
Awesome, thank you. I got Shakti writing.
I'm writing everything down. I have Heka written down, Ramalinga Swami, and the Rainbow Body and Resurrection.
Yeah, yeah, they're good books. It's not required reading. Those are like in your spare time, if you're inspired, jump in.
I really like in your All Is Tantra album that I think it's the last song where it's just spoken at the end, and they're saying like, oh, they've discovered that the way to become an immortal is just spending time with the elements, and that all these immortals, all
That's
they did.
the Siddha Gita, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's All Is Tantra.
It's the Siddha
Is
Gita.
it the Gita? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you guys know. Sorry. Congo's gonna know which album it's from.
Maybe.
It's his album.
Maybe.
Yeah. I love that. It just makes it so simple. It's like just sit with the fire, make sure you connect with the water, connect with all the elements every day. And if it was any more complicated than that, then God would have been a sadist.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he would have had to do something difficult or painful to reach this, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of my greatest friends and teachers who shared that, and his name is Leonard Orr. So I've included him on a lot of my albums. Not a lot. On Health, Wealth, Knowledge of Self, he's actually on there too. But yeah, he's one of the people who's inspired Wim Hof and many of the others who we hear about nowadays who do breath work. They were inspired or received some type of influence from Leonard Orr in the 60s and 70s. And he's a great friend. He stayed at this house. I've stayed at his house. He's kicked it with Hedekhan Babaji. Many people know Hedekhan Baba as Babaji. Some don't know him as that. They say it's something else. For me, The same one God is everywhere, and there are distinctions, but that's for us to find in our own personal time, and let that mean whatever it means in our own path, because God is capable of communicating and inspiring our understanding however she needs to. So I have no gripe about how people write. You know what I'm saying? They ripen it in their own time.
It's rebirthing breathwork, Leonard
Yeah,
things, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
rebirthing breath work. It's him and Sandra Ray is another good one to check out too. Leonard Orr and Sandra Ray, they both give great information. Find whatever YouTube videos you could find from Leonard Orr that are of decent quality. You could also go to leonardorrbooks.com and find some little audios that some of my friends in the community have put up there. These are just things for your spare time. Like I said, none of this is required anything, but a lot of it is things that have kept me on the path, kept me contemplating God, has expanded my vision of God and my relationship with Jesus Christ. So it is very, it's weird how that happens for me, but I love it, and it's gonna be weird how it happens for you. It's and I love that. We all have our own weird, intricate ways that God is working with us. So I celebrate it.
You truly do. You fucking express it from like every tradition you can, as much as it resonates with your being. Like, I love that so much.
We were
Thank you,
introduced
y'all
to
too.
D-Rock. I think that's how we found you.
Yeah, I found D-Rock the Menace
Our
first on
friend showed
Spotify.
us D-Rock's album, the THC, like,
TPA.
yeah, the
TPHA.
resonance one.
Yeah, that
And
album
then
is one
from
of the
that,
best albums ever. Like
Yeah,
oh,
that's fucking
of
the shit with
of
D-Rock.
all albums,
Yeah.
not just his. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of the best. We took mushrooms and listened to that album, and we were like, holy fucking
yeah.
shit.
And like first time to hear an album and we were instantly in love. And then
Yeah.
from that we were just looking at other artists that Spotify recommended, and like you were one of them, but we didn't resonate with your music at first. We were resonating with Third Eye Indigo and D-Rock and this and that, and then at some point we delved into your music and that was it. There was no turning back. We were like, everyone else can just go away, like Congo, 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 all day, every day. You have an album for every mood, for every situation. Like, it's mind blowing.
That's so kind. Yeah, I love all them people that I work with, and there's so many. There's different styles and different moods and attitudes and different uh, things that are being expressed in the music, and there's a time for it all. So I'm glad to contribute to that with my friends. I have made a lot of albums. Someone said they have 483 of my songs, and that was before I released Psalms and Kid Icarus and some of these other ones. So I'm probably almost at 500 now. The goal is 1,000 songs by the end of 2025.
God damn.
Wow, yes, we're here and ready for it.
Yeah. Thank you, y'all.
It's okay. Thank you for letting us be live with you, Congo.
Of course, of course. It's a given. Like I was telling your friend, this is what we're here for. If I have time and you got time and it aligns, we end up building. And there's no barrier to that. There never will be.
I was thinking of going live on YouTube, and then suddenly you were live, and now this is happening. It's like better than I could have imagined. Whatever the hell I was gonna do in my life, like.
Well,
Yeah, we
yeah,
truly love your music, brother. Like every word you spit feels like it comes 100% from the source. Like I can
oh,
listen to
that's,
music and people express fear, and it feels like I'm not trying to judge the music, but I'm like contemplating it, I'm feeling it, I'm checking if it's resonating, and every word you ever spit is just heart to heart. I don't ever feel any barrier in between of separation.
You literally have one song I can think of where you're telling like a little bit of a personal thing where you're like, I don't want to fall in love, I just want to fuck. Tell me how I fall in love. Like, that song, you're just like, yeah, fuck's sake, fucking bitches, like,
yeah, yeah. That's, there's a time when people feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what some of those songs are. Just sometimes the immersion into those spheres.
For me, the first music that was even off this kind of vibration was Flatbush Zombies and Underachievers.
Mm, yeah,
And that's also,
I like them.
it's fucking
And
good
Mr.
music.
Traumatic.
Yeah, Mr. Traumatic
And
too.
our friend was asking like 3 times, but he wanted to know what's your opinion of Mr. Traumatic, if you've heard of
Okay,
Mr. Traumatic.
so right now when you just said that, I was like, okay, I don't know who that is, but someone who I was riding with in a car, I think was playing it recently, and if I remember, it was some of the most succinct lyrics, like as far as one-liners that are talking about things that matter with wittiness and like spitting it in a way where you could understand what he's saying. Does this sound like
Yeah,
how?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that shit was dope. That shit was dope. Yeah.
I'd recommend if you got time ever to listen to some music, put on Omnipresence. His newest album is called
Okay.
Omnipresence. And it's fucking one of his best albums in a long time. Like,
But
Okay.
you
Maybe that's
had
what
a
my friends were playing. I don't know.
yeah.
yeah. But you had an awakening trip with
Yeah, I had my first, like, proper, first I just took acid and saw God and all these omnipresent realms, and I was like, holy shit. Then I started doing it consciously and meditating, and then I took a big dose listening to his album called Truth Hurts. And it's truth, like hurts the what
frequencies.
frequencies. And he's just exposing, like, big pharma and media and this and that and activating your chakras and a lot of conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and Freemason things and stuff like that too. But in that moment is exactly what I needed to wake up out of the bubble
Yo.
of that.
You were like flying through dimensions, you said, with like Traumatic holding your hand. Like,
Yeah.
let me show you the world, boy. Let me show you how it works. Like, woo!
Yeah, yeah, that was one of the things I heard recently where I was like, okay, I I'm feeling this.
Because I've heard you speak a lot of times since your name is Illuminati. Like people are always going to be asking about Illuminati, and there's always a lot of fear involved in conspiracy theories of those things. And I feel like Freemason things is a real thing, and there is no sin in the big picture. Like so, people are just playing with reality, and no one can make you do anything, but they can make you do something for them.
But that you think you did all by yourself. Like, it's like a manipulation. That's the word, right?
Like you can't think for someone else, but you can influence someone
Yeah.
to have a thought and take an action.
Like the media.
Well, I know many Freemasons, and I've also uh, been initiated into Egyptian Moorish Freemasonry. I'm no longer a part of that lodge. Uh, the lodge dissolved, and rightfully so. I wanted it to, uh, but there were great experiences in in the brother in the brotherhood, in the fellowship, I'll say this though. There were also many shortcomings in it. All the same shortcomings that are in any organization. And that is how things work in with everything that I've found. I find that Masonry is, if you're sincere and you're honoring the ideals and the symbols of Masonry, it's going to produce good results for you in your life, as far as helping one be a better human, a more where one isn't ruled by their passions, and one has a charitable heart for mankind. That's what real sincere Masonry will lead to. But what we have also are people who just join it because they're looking for a group to have power and influence. And then you have groups who do those things too. So there are people who are trying to manipulate and have their own little secret club as well within that organization. So you have many things going on in there, from what I've found. I don't know everything about it, but I can only speak from my experience. And I've seen both things, where there's people who, I've seen more than both things. I've seen that there's people who are just, they don't even know why they're there. Then there's people there who are looking for power and influence. Then there's people there who wanted to build with others who are into esoteric knowledge and secrets. So I don't think that Masonry in and of itself is doing anything bad, but I do know that anything can be used. Any organization can be used for bad, whether that's a Taoist organization, yoga organization, church organization, any of that.
True that.
It's the eye in the triangle, the eye in the pyramid. Mm-hmm. We're on a higher level now than we've ever been.
Yeah.
Just made me think of when you were like performing live somewhere. This came up on my YouTube once. It was so amazing to hear this. When you're like introducing the song and you're like, people got like writing to me like, can they join the Illuminati? I'm like, brother, what you mean? And then you start the song. I don't know. It's just like, I love the way that you introduced that. It was so funny.
Yeah, man. We had to let them know I made a song for them. I love them that much.
Yeah. It's like one of your outros in one of your earlier albums where you're like, thank you, World Health Organization. You're doing a real good job keeping us all healthy. Like, thank you, banksters and gangsters.
Yeah, that's how to make them flee. When you laugh at them and you're able to roast them.
What do
my
you think
family,
about GMO weed, Congo? Like, I'm sure you
don't
smoke
do
a
it.
lot of high-grade weed.
Don't do it. But my family just got home a little moment ago. I gotta tap in with the fam now.
Give up.
We'll have to
I
do.
love to Cutrus and the little ones.
I will. Love is being shared to y'all guys from the people I'm talking with. So yeah, I'm gonna tap in with them, and but we'll link up again on here. There's no doubt about it. Let it be Jah will, and thank you all the people who supported with the badges. Thank you, Black Airbender and Gypsy Jess, and for who else? There's more. I gotta give y'all a shout out for John Bain.
Hello, Cutress.
So cute.
They said, "Hey, Cutress," and everyone who's just listening. You know, and you really are supporting just by sharing your attention, building on with the conversation, asking questions, and I thank you for that. We're gonna link up, y'all. Big love.
Yeah.
God bless.
One love.
One
Thank
love, bro.
you. One love.
See you in the now.
All right, and
We see us
I'll leave
now.
this up for like an hour. So if y'all need to, you or your friend need to download it, it'll be there for an hour in the
Thank you
Reels part of my
so
thing.
much.
It'll be hidden though, just in the Reels part. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's
You're
appreciated.
amazing.
You're appreciated. Thank you for everything you do always. Don't ever think you're falling down. You're the fucking shit, bro.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. May God guide us and direct us with discernment, love, and compassion. Yo, peace.
We're
Peace,
getting
bro.
higher and higher. We're getting higher and higher.
And let that mean whatever it means in our own path, because God is capable of communicating and inspiring our understanding however she needs to. So I have no gripe about how people write. You know what I'm saying? They peace, peace.
Breathe, connect the breath, inhale and the exhale mesh. Breathe, connect the breath. This one merged into the next. Breathe, connect the breath. Heart open, expand the chest. Breathe, connect the breath. Inhale, let gravity do the rest.